And boom. I was wondering why I was looking at the Facebook page and I'm like, that's odd. It's not going live.
Good evening, everybody.
Oh, it's not showing we're live yet.
Oh, it's showing live over here.
Oh, yeah? As long as you're getting it.
Oh, there we go.
There we are.
Hey,
Sorry about that. Yes, I know. Hello, everybody. Sorry. That was Uncle Danny just getting a little antsy, hitting the wrong button here.
He pressed the wrong button.
So we will literally be ready to rock and roll in less than 60 seconds. Dun, dun. So I hope everybody's having a good night. Hope you all are having a better night than I'm having, because, man, so pumped to be here. Yes, we know we are live. We are live. We like to be live. We appreciate everybody coming to our live show. All right, you tell me when you are ready.
Oh, I was born ready. Let's make it happen.
You got it up and running?
Hold on.
Not running, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right. This episode of Behind the Ears Podcast is proudly sponsored by Fantastic Memories Travel and its Mousemaster Travel Group. You finally going to bring your family on that Disney cruise? Well, head on over to mousemastertravel.com and let them take part of all the stressful parts of your vacation planning. So, you could sit back and relax. That's mousemastertravel.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Streaming Disney proudly presents Behind the Ears Podcast. Welcome back, everybody, and thank you for tuning into another episode of Behind the Ears Podcast. I am your host, Uncle Danny. Alongside of me tonight, Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris, how are you, sir?
I am doing fabulous. I'm going to let everybody know right now that if for some reason I drop off the face of the earth, it's only because we are experiencing some wonderful, wonderful storms here in the Midwest, and I've already experienced one power outage, and when there's one, there's most likely going to be another one. But we're going to have a great show tonight regardless.
Yes. So we want to thank everybody for joining us. All our new listeners, thank you for joining. All the people that have been around for quite a while, we thank you for following over here on the Streaming Disney page. And we just wanted to start something off real quick with, we know Streaming Disney had a bit of an issue tonight with some of their wishes. Tomorrow night, there will be 3 people covering the wishes just in case for things that happen like tonight. But, guys, when you're in Disney and it's the final couple nights of wishes, those cell towers are probably bumping. The Wi-Fi is all gobbled up. So just cut them a little bit of slack, but they are putting into place things for tomorrow, so this doesn't happen again. So before we start the show, I see a couple people saying, hey, who are you guys and what are you doing? Well, I, once again, am Uncle Danny. That gentleman right over there, that is Uncle Chris, and who we are is Behind the Ears Podcast. We are a podcast based on all things Disney with a high concentration in Disney World. We do top 10s, news, a little bit of rumors, listener questions. We love bringing in guests on to talk. We have authors, YouTube videos. We have a blog. We have all that. You'll hear it all later in the show. So let's jump into tonight's episode. Tonight's episode is going to be a 3-parter. No, tomorrow night is the Last Wishes. Tonight is a 3-parter. We're going to talk a little bit of the Halloween party because the tickets were released today. We're also going to touch on Mickey's Not So Scary, Mickey's Merry Christmas Party, because once again, they were released today. And then we have a couple things in our mailbag, and what a mailbag is just listener questions. So thank you all for joining. And let's get rocking and rolling. So, I'm going to go through the list of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I'm going to tell you the days that it's there. I'm going to tell you the prices it's there. The first price I tell you is going to be adult. The second price I'm going to tell you is child. And then we will discuss it. So, starting on September 1st, we had, which is a Friday. It's actually, excuse me, I apologize. Tuesday, August 29th is the first day. $74 and $69. We go to the February 1st, $74, $69.
You just said February 1st.
Which
you know,
I got that Run Disney in my head. That's my problem.
You do. You've got Run Disney on the mind, man. I'm going to catch you for that one, but that's okay.
So for the next 3 following dates, which is going to be September 7th, September 10th, and September 12th, you are looking at the $74 for adults, $69 for children. September 15th is $88 for adults, $83 for children. Then we're going to drop back down a little bit. Thank goodness here. September 17th, 74 and 69. Tuesday the 19th, 79 and 74. Friday the 22nd, 88 and 83. So you're starting to see that price climb a little bit on Fridays. 74 and 69 for Sunday the 24th. 79 and 74 on Tuesday the 26th. And to wrap up September, we have Friday the 29th, once again at $88 for adults, $83 for children. Now, in the beginning of that, that's no big deal. Those are pretty reasonable prices. This is where things get a little bit interesting, and I think we're going to see the most comments coming through. October 1st, which is a Sunday, $88 and $83 for children. Tuesday, October 3rd, $94 and $89. And that is going to stay the price point from October 3rd all the way through October 27th. So that's going to cover the 3rd, the 5th, the 6th, the 9th, the 10th, 12th, 13th, 15th, 17th, 19th, 20th, 22nd, 24th, and 26th. All of those days are $94 for adults, $89 for children. Now, this is where it gets a little interesting.
Hold on to your hats, everybody.
Friday, the 27th, $99 and $99 for adults, $94 for children. So children,
Wow.
That's getting pricey. It's going to flow over to Sunday, which is also $99 for adults, $94 for children. So at that point, you're like, wow, okay, basically, let's say $100 for an adult. That's almost pricing people out. Well, October 31st, Halloween night, which is a Tuesday night this year, $115 for adults, $110 for children. But they give you a little bit of a break. November 1st is the last day they have the party, and it's $94 for adults and $89 for children.
Yeah, but still, $115 for an event that you can start, going into the park at like 4 o'clock on that ticket. But it's the same price as, or if not just a little bit more, depending on where you go and the time and everything else, as a regular park ticket. That's insane crazy. Now, I'm not going to sit here and just vent on it, okay? I mean, I'm glad that some people are getting their tickets. Everybody's been waiting for when their tickets were released and so on. But think about it. Typical family of 4, you're talking almost $500. In fact, you're probably talking over $500 once you throw taxes on and stuff like that. And that's insane. I mean, I love the Halloween party. You and I were just talking about that the other night. It's really cool. I mean, the parade is really awesome. The decorations are cool. Obviously, I've seen people come out of there with 10, 15 pounds of candy. I mean, seriously. I mean, you can repackage that candy and start your own candy company with that. What you get for that. But it's insane. I mean, I know that people have been saying, Disney's been kind of pricing themselves out. Now, the only thing is I will say, it's the peak time. It is the Halloween party on Halloween. It's just going to be a huge, big deal for that. But then again, if you can go the day before, day after, you're going to get some savings. Go even in September. I mean, that's the kind of the fun part about this particular party. At least they're making it so that if you go anytime during the fall, even late summer, early fall, you're going to be able to go. You're going to be able to still have a decent party for it, and a decent price too, I might add. So go figure. To me, it's a little bit of a shocker. I saw that and I did pause. I wanted to make sure it was right. I actually went and cross-referenced it with a couple other places just to make sure it wasn't a typo.
Yeah.
So.
And Ian from Streaming Disney, how are you doing? He brings up a really good point. He goes, what really confuses me is the folks that use regular park ticket at Magic Kingdom that day without the extra ticket, basically wasting your ticket that day. You have to leave early but pay the same price. And that is so true, because if you do not have a hopper that is attached to that ticket and you choose to go to Magic Kingdom on any of those dates that I said, you are out of the park by 4 o'clock. Done. Yeah. Dunzo, you're done.
Well, actually, you're in the park by 4 if you have a ticket. I think it's either 6. I think they're saying it's 6 o'clock now. You have to be out.
Oh, they bumped it back.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
It used to be earlier.
It used to be like either 5, I think it was 6 o'clock. You know what? I don't have it in front of me, and I do apologize for not having that. But they're not kicking you out at 4 o'clock. They're not, it's not going to be like one of these where you have to be out while they're coming in.
Okay.
But but Ian's right though. If you're going to go to the Halloween party, go to a different park that day. Go to downtown Disney. I keep doing that too. You've got me going on that, Danny. Go to Disney Springs that day. Go, even if it's still warm, go to a water park. Enjoy your resort water parks.
But
or water, pools.
Even if you don't have an annual pass and you bought a hard ticket and you are like me who like one of those days where it's almost like a half a day, you don't have to worry about being in the park. I have an AP. So to me, it doesn't matter if I'm in the park or not. I paid for it. If you are one of those people, say you're going for 7 days and you're doing the Halloween party that night, me and Chris have said it multiple times in the show. We recommend don't get a ticket that day. You don't need a ticket that day. If you have the hard ticket event and you can get into Magic Kingdom at 4, you could stay in that park till almost 1.
I mean, it's a good value if you're going to use it for absolutely everything you can. But I think it was Aaron that I saw his comment come across the screen. It basically said, "But they're going to sell out," and you're right.
They do, yeah.
Especially as it gets. I mean, you know what? They may not necessarily sell out all the weekday tickets in September, but the fact of the matter is that as you get closer.
Yeah. So he just dropped off. It's okay. I'm sorry. I was just not paying attention for a second. To get back to it, it's you gotta love some of for anybody who's new here, you gotta absolutely love some of our Universal fans here, like Kayla. Universal's Halloween party is better than Disney's and probably cheaper. It's cheaper, and it's cheaper for a reason. Listen, there's some things I like about Universal, but let's be real here, ladies and gentlemen. No one does it better than Disney, and that's not me being a fanboy. That is me just giving you my personal opinion on that. Like Aaron said, parties will sell out. They sold out very quickly last year for the Halloween night, and now it wasn't as expensive. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I can go back and check, and if anybody wants to correct me, that's fine. Last year, the Halloween day was $99. So see how that works out. But Nathaniel says it's very good to know that I don't get these events with those prices, but I would love to go to the event someday. Yeah, the event, listen, is $115 expensive when you got a family of 4 and you're talking about, give or take $500. That's an expensive day. Don't get me wrong, that is expensive. But, people are saying, hey, all it is candy and a parade. And essentially, is that all it is? Sure. But in the grand scheme of things, you're paying for the atmosphere, you're paying for the show, you're paying for the entertainment that you don't normally get. Chris, great to have you back.
I'm back temporarily off of my cell, but as I'm rebooting everything, the interesting part is that some people will say, is it just a party? Is it just a parade? I think there's a lot more to it. There is the atmosphere. Everything seems to be different when it comes to it, and I really enjoyed it. I've done it a couple times. It's not something that I will always do when I'm there during the season. Same thing for the Christmas party, but it was a very enjoyable event. So the fact of the matter is that yes, you're right. It's darn expensive as you get closer to Halloween. But like I've said before on previous episodes as well as blogged, plan for it. If you really want it, some people always ask, is it worth it? My always question back is, do you think it's going to be worth it? And have you ever done it before? Because if you haven't, give it a try. You might really like it. If not, okay, you gave it a try. I bet you liked some parts of it, even though it may not have, floated your boat the entire time.
Yeah. And no, Samara, we do not live in Orlando. I live up in the Northeast. But, still being a pass holder, I try to get down every 90 days, but that pesky thing called work seems to sometimes get in the way. Will Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular be there this year, 2017? Yes, it will be. It is returning, thank goodness. And also, something interesting that is coming and that I did not think was going to stay is Hallowishes. Hallowishes will be there. So, Montreal, Quebec. You know what? I'm there a couple times a year. I love it up there.
You know what? I was wondering if
Yeah, he can't really see me right now. I apologize. Look at Anna. She's done it 5 years in a row. Now I wonder, Anna, I know you are a Disneyland expert, so are you doing these parties over in Disneyland, or are you coming cross country over to the wonderful Disney World? Let me know. No, I'm not from Montreal, I wish. Yeah, it is a lot of French. Advice: if you want to meet a character during parties, get in line right around 5. That is, it's not a bad idea. I don't know, 5. I think 5's a little early. If we're talking Halloween night, okay, I can get you on Halloween night. I get it. But just on a normal, like say, like one of those, let's say a random Tuesday, let's say September 12th. I don't know if you need to be there at 5. But it's always better to be safe than sorry. But I am now going to divert the conversation over to the next hard ticketed event, which will be available for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. So, once again, we're going to do the same style. I'm going to give you the dates. I'm going to give you the prices. First price is going to be adult. Second price is going to be child. So starting on November 9th, $94 and $89. November 10th, $95 and $90. November 12th, $89 and $84. November 14th, $89 and $84. November 16th, $89 and $84. And then we have a little bit of a price hop here going one day over to Friday the 17th, $95 and $90. And you're going to stay at $95. Now, here's the crazy thing. They don't have anything going on during Thanksgiving week. So there's no hard ticketed event during the week of Thanksgiving. So you have that entire week off. So then we go back to the 26th and the 28th, and also December 1st is all going to be $95 for adults, $90 for children. Then we'll go into the rest of November, where it looks like it's going to stay at $95 for adults and $90 for children on the 1st, the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, the 10th, the 12th, the 14th, and the 17th. Then the 3 Fridays that month, the 8th, the 15th, those two Fridays are $99 for adults, $94 for children, and now once again, now you're going to see your price hike. December 19th, it's $109 for adults, $104 for children, and that will go also for the 21st and 22nd. So it is $6 cheaper. So, you want to save $6 and you want to go to a hard ticket event? Are you more leaning towards going to, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party compared to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party? I don't know. It's really tough. To me, it's been a while. But I don't know. It's been a while since last time I was at Very Merry Christmas Party was probably about, let's say, 8 years ago. It's been a while, but I've been to 7 straight Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween parties. So, that shows you how much I truly enjoy it. Here's the thing. If you want to do these, and if it's all possible, try your best to partake in these hard ticket events the earlier they are. The earlier in that season they are, the better price you're going to get. Let's be honest here. I mean, and you're talking, some of them around $12, roughly. That's still, almost $60 for a family of 4, speaking of that. Now, when you're traveling solo like me, $12, what's $12? You're going to spend that at Casey's Corn, you're going to go get some Casey's corn dog nuggets and a soda. You're going to spend $12. So that, to me, that's not the biggest, the end all be all. Then we have here is, let's see, Lisa. I am there for 7 days, got the Christmas party tickets. This is my first time going to the party. I will take 1 day off of Hopper. Just curious, will Magic Band not use the day for entry? Want to be sure I can get into the park the last day. Well, if you're just taking the Hopper off, you'll be fine. You could always check with whoever you booked through, whether it is Disney or a provided travel agent, and if you need a travel agent, there's plenty of us can recommend different ones for you. I'm trying to think. Let's see. I'm trying to read that. I will take 1 day off Hopper. Well, it's just going to be, if you had a 7-day Hopper and you're just taking 1 full day off, you've got 6 days. You could use the 6 days. It doesn't have to be 6 consecutive days. If you did, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, took off Thursday, and then on Friday, Saturday, you're fine. You'll be good that way. Just make sure you're not scanning into a park, and you should be good. Yeah, Carrie brings up the fireworks show over at the Halloween party. I think one of the best fireworks shows, because it kind of brings the semblance of the whole party you're having together, but it's also the amazing feeling of wishes, just with that little holiday flair to it. Chris, how are you, sir?
Well, I will tell you one thing about the holiday flair part. It's even best seen, in my opinion, if you see it from the top of the Contemporary, or even top of Bay Lake Tower if you're a DVC member. I've seen those tags before, and boy, is it just amazing.
Trisha, you said, I know the dates I will be there for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Here's the deal. I'm scheduled to be there the week of Halloween, but I'll tell you that God honest truth, I have a little flexibility to go the week before. It's all going to come down on flights, trying to see what the best flight is going to be. But I don't know, man. 115 to be there. I was joking with Chris when I've read it before. 115 on Halloween night? I'll wait till November 1st and save myself, a couple bucks. But, we'll see what happens. It's all really honestly going to come down to flights for me. But, we'll figure it out as time goes on. We have a little bit of time. I know a lot of people I saw before was talking about the Run Disney. I am running in the 5K, but it's not till February. So I don't really want to touch on it because I can't even book a room, let alone a flight. So the only thing I've got booked is I got a bib. That's all I know is I am now participating in this. So are they still going to have the holiday wishes, or are they changing that? No, they will still be offering the Christmas-style wishes and the Hallow wishes. So you were perfectly fine with that. And I'll tell you this, I was completely shocked when I saw that because I did not think that they were still going to offer the wishes for the holiday party after them taking it away. Do you have to pay for day price if it on events night? Yeah, if Magic Kingdom that day is $110, it doesn't matter if you're in the park till 1 a.m. or if you get kicked out at 7 p.m. for the nighttime hard ticket. You pay the same price. They do not change it. Trish, let me know. I'd love to see you down there. Maybe we could set up a little meetup now that we have a whole little group of new fans here, new big family. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, see, now that makes life a little bit easier, Christopher, when, you can get a little bit of a discount. Now, here's where it's going to tie in. If you're an AP holder, make sure you're checking to see if you can get discounts. If you are I'm not saying any of these work, but this is just my little slogan. If you got something, ask them. If if you're a DVC member, if you're a Visa card, if you're the Chase holder, if you have an AP, if you have any possible type of discount that will get offered inside Disney, ask. What's the worst they're going to say? No. Hey.
No. And I'll tell you right now, at Disneyland, it's actually funny because they will interactively say, hey, so are you an AP DVC member, Disney Visa card holder, blah, blah, blah. And so they're actually going to look for the discounts for you. At Walt Disney World, it's a little different. You really have to approach them. And the interesting part to it is that I know, like, for AP holders, you get the little book that shows all the different discounts that you can get. Trust me, there are possibly more than what's listed in that book. All you have to do is ask. They may say no. Who cares? If they say no, no big deal. But, you'll never get something if you don't ask for it. It's just one of those things. And we've actually found out a lot of times, because at one time we were AP holders, Disney Visa holders, DVC members. We had a whole plethora of available discounts, and some work for some work for others. You just have to ask.
Yeah. You just have to ask. I see a couple people saying you guys should wear Mickey shirts during your live show. Chris is usually wearing some form of a Disney World hat. I have a Behind the Ears podcast t-shirt on. There's a pod here. We just wanted to make sure that we get the name out there.
I've got my Castaway Key.
You did not run a 5K.
I sure as heck did. And
you won't run the Princess. Where's Jessica when you need her?
Well, because I was on the cruise.
Who just happened to be there.
I just happened to be there, and I would like to say it was free, but I was on the cruise. And anybody who's ever tried to price out a cruise knows that I love how people say, "Hey, get all the food you want; it's all free." Trust me, no, you paid for it.
You paid for it somewhere.
So, but no, it was. Yeah, I loved it. If you ever do a Disney cruise, even if you're not a runner, go do the Castaway Cay 5K. It's a heck of a lot of fun. There's no pressure whatsoever on it. It's awesome.
Ian has an interesting question. What do you do? What do they do Christmas night if it's not a hard ticket event? Do they Scrooge the audience and do a regular fireworks, or do they splurge and give the Christmas show free on Christmas? I don't know the exact answer to that, but if you're gonna, tell me, hey, Danny, I need an answer right now, I'm gonna tell you that Disney's gonna give you the free Christmas show. That's just me.
I think so. If I'm not mistaken, in the past they have done something like that or something very similar. So it's just something to take into consideration. I mean, it is one of those things. I want to say someone told me that they did, the Christmas tag of wishes last year on Christmas Day or night, I should say. But yeah, just one of those things. By the way, I want to go ahead and answer the question. Someone asked me which Disney cruises I've done. I mainly do just the Bahamian cruise. Mainly goes to Nassau and Castaway Cay. I've done 3 and 4 day trips on the Wonder as well as the Disney Dream. Awesome.
So, Joanne, she mentions, she did her first ever Disney cruise in 2008. Now, no other cruise I have been on has been able to compare. And that's the thing, is I've been on 12 cruises, basically Norwegian, Royal Caribbean. I am afraid to go on the Disney Cruise Line because I've been pampered on some of these cruises, and I can only imagine. Because not only the pampering, the price tag turns me off a little bit on Disney cruises. I'll be completely honest.
They're not cheap, but dude, I got to tell you something. Seriously, after the first time I went on a Disney cruise, yeah, my pockets were empty, but the fact of the matter is, I felt like royalty, and I'll do it again and again. I just can't necessarily, it's just not in my Disney budget. And I will also, there's my wife mentioning to Samara about checking out the Senses Spa. I will tell you, I turned in my man card and I went to the spa. They have what's called the Rainforest Room, and it is epic. I don't care who you are, you got to do it. By the way, it felt really great after the 5K where I was really sore, and I laid on these heated stone lounges. Oh, yes, so good. Okay, enough about that.
Okay, so with those two topics, if anybody has any more questions about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party or Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, you can surely email us over at behindtheearspodcast@gmail.com, and we will surely answer as best as we can. And if we do not have the answer, we will direct you to somebody who does. So let's dip on into our mailbag. Mailbag. First up is Leslie. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Leslie sent us like a 4-page email, which is awesome. It was very well structured. There's a lot of stuff that we're not going to go into. So I'm just going to give you a rundown of who she is and then what her question was. So, hey, Chris and Danny, I've been listening to your podcast for a few months now, and I've recently started following your Facebook page. I tried to submit – okay, sorry, I don't need to read that part. I'm contacting you during your 100th episode. You mentioned that you'd like to hear from your listeners more, so I thought I'd offer some ideas for future episodes. See, people, this is what we're talking about. First, a bit about me so you know where I'm coming from. I'm a 34-year-old wife and a mother of a 21-month-old baby girl. Congratulations.
Cool.
She's a lifelong Disney fan. Her first trip to Walt Disney World was in 1985. So I've enjoyed watching the parks evolve over the past 3 decades. I've also visited Disneyland 5 times and California Adventure once. So in October, I will be fulfilling one of my longtime dreams of taking my own child to Walt Disney World for the first time. So what I really would like to know is, can we have a discussion on scheduling trips with small children? Would be really helpful. If you have any good number of listeners who are young parents, I recall Chris talked about this issue on a recent episode, but I don't think I've covered scheduling fast passes specifically. She also offered to be a guinea pig and volunteer and come on the show. So, Leslie, when you hear this, we'll be definitely getting in contact with you. We have a little bit of time before you are scheduling for your fast passes, but I would love to have a conversation about this with you. So, Chris,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to defer this question over to you, since you've traveled with kids and I've done it once and they weren't mine. So
yeah, it's a little different when they're your own. Well, first off, my son did 3 trips before. The first one was hilarious because it was a Disney cruise when he was only a few months old. And the funny part about it is that it was also during his first hurricane done in Florida. So that was pretty cool. It was during you could call it his first land and sea trip.
Oh, Leslie's here.
Oh yeah, she's here. Awesome. And so it was actually really pretty cool. Now here's just something. I'll mainly touch on the Walt Disney World aspect of it, because the cruise line, it's different. And as I said, they really pampered us and really helped out both of us when it came to my son. But mainly for the Walt Disney World vacation part, here's just a few things. And I could actually make a whole show out of this, but I will give you some really. I'm sorry?
You can make a vlog out of it.
I can make a vlog out of this, but I'll give you some really good top tips. Obviously, you're going to have a stroller. Use it to your full advantage. I will tell you that right now. If you think that your stroller is not going to handle miles worth of being pushed around, possibly consider either renting one from an offsite vendor or getting an upgrade for your own purposes. I will tell you this, that we have had some cheap strollers in the past and we destroyed them at Disney. My biggest tip, and my wife may actually, if she's still watching the show, she will probably chime in here. I think the biggest thing is that, first off, find the baby care centers. There's one at each park, and each water park, and there's also and they're there during the times that the parks are open. They are there for anything and everything you can possibly ever need. Everything from extra, like say either formula, juice, sippy cups, diapers, wipes, baby medicines, those types of things. Not to mention a really quiet place to possibly sit with your child. Also to, change diapers and so on and so forth. Really, seriously, they are really cool places. Disney has really done a great job when it came to making sure that parents feel comfortable in being able to care for their child. Now, there's only one in each park. So what we used to do is kind of planned our day around what would possibly be, times where my wife and my son needed some time together, and that was okay. And so we just kind of made sure we did a little extra planning. Hopefully by that time you go on your trip, you'll, know what your son will need, at what times, whether it be just a little break, to grab a snack or whatever. I don't know. I can't remember if you said he's 21 months now or will be 21 months then. I apologize. The biggest thing also is to realize that because Disney is filled with stimuli, take the breaks. Take the breaks outside of the parks. And sometimes, all it takes is just to maybe go to a surrounding resort hotel and just, chill out there for a little bit while maybe your son takes a little nap. And you can, enjoy, a snack or something at a food court at a surrounding resort. Trust me, it sounds like it takes away time from the parks, but sometimes the kids need that time away just to relax for a little bit. It makes them less fussy, makes them a lot more relaxed. And trust me, when they're relaxed, you're relaxed. Of course, there's the usual things. Make sure they're hydrated. Make sure that they like wearing a hat or something. I'm sorry, I thought it was a son. I do apologize for that. Hat, sunblock, hydration, those are critical regardless of what time of the year that you're going to be going down. It can be winter time. It could be December, January. You can still, get a huge sunburn. So make sure that those are some of the big things that you're keeping in mind. You can't hydrate too much, in my opinion, at Disney, regardless of what age you're at. I would also say make sure that you carry, snacks Make sure that they are snacks that won't necessarily melt or get gooey. I'll tell you right now. Now, granted, I realize that at around the 2-year-old mark, they may not necessarily. I don't, probably limited to like Cheerios and stuff like that, which is really cool. Gosh, I can go for some Cheerios. Anyway, but
you can go for some Casey's corn dog nuggets.
Oh, now you're talking. Now you got me totally derailed. By the way, did someone mention Casey's corn dog nuggets? They are awesome for sitting around waiting for the newest fireworks show along the side. Casey's corn dog nuggets. Get them today. Okay. You had to bring it up. You know that.
Oh, I had to.
But also the other thing is that just work around the schedule of your child. And I think, you do that and you're going to see Disney through their eyes. And believe it or not, you'll see it a little bit differently. And that's okay. In fact, you're going to see things that you've never seen before. And that is awesome. Because as they grow older, you'll start seeing them through more of your kids' eyes just because of that. There are so many things that I didn't see until we had our son. And I was like, wow, it turned out to be a whole different vacation experience from when, just going with my daughter, who was a little bit older during her first couple trips. And as for travel, which I know a lot of parents are worried about traveling with their kids, my take on it is this. There's a very good chance that your child is going to travel to Disney the same way that they travel to the local mall. If they're a good traveler around town, around home, chances are they're going to be a pretty good traveler on a drive to Disney. If they've never been on a flight before, there are some things you can do with that. We can probably go into that in a different show because I know I'm taking up a little bit too much time. But, the fact, thanks, Danny, I appreciate that. But, these are just things that as someone taking a young child for the first time, just relax and enjoy it. Don't try to power through. So I'll go ahead and pause there. I really appreciate the question, but we'll probably do maybe we'll do a panel show with a whole bunch of different moms and dads that have some extra experiences as well. So
I got one little tidbit for you. So Leslie, you've been going for a while. So you've experienced either, traveling with friends, traveling with family, traveling, with boyfriends, husband, or possibly even solo like myself. Just understand that, I've in the more recent past, I've been traveling more alone. But, when I was able to bring my niece with us, it's been absolutely fantastic. You do Disney very differently.
Yeah.
And you need to prepare yourself for that. Because there is no more – now, granted, depending on, how you want to work it with your husband, maybe one of you can run on a roller coaster if you really are like that into it. But, for the most time, if you really want to see Disney through your child's eyes and relax and everything, there's no more Rock and Roller Coaster. There's no more Tower of Terror. There's no more, Everest. These things are going to go by the wayside for quite a while. But if you're okay with that, or if or you work out a plan with your husband or whoever else you're traveling with, as much as I want to tell you, hey, do everything for your kid, because who doesn't want that? At the same time, you're spending a lot of money. So make sure that there are a couple little things that you get to do. Maybe if you're like me and your favorite ride is Carousel of Progress, you wait until she falls asleep. You go inside Carousel of Progress while she's knocked out, and you're good to go. It's a great ride. She'll sleep. You get to watch. I don't see what's wrong here. So,
there's no problem with that plan. I'll tell you that right now.
I mean, if they wake up, she makes up crying, then we're going to have an issue. But don't worry about it. I won't be on the ride. So let's move on. So Leslie, if you have any more questions, please send us an email. Once again, you know how to reach us. I am very, very sorry that we were not able to respond to your email. I really plan on doing it. I promise you I will. But if there's anything else you would like to know, feel free, and we will definitely get in touch with you about coming on the show to talk about this while you are doing your Fast Passes. So on to our next listener question. It is from Joanne. Good afternoon, Uncle Danny and Mr. Chris. My name is Joanne. I found your podcast about 1.5 months ago. I am an audio-only potty. That audio-only podcaster, listener. You know what I meant.
I understand.
I was just reading what she wrote.
Okay.
As much fun as I think your show is, it has been so incredibly educational for me. Our family is 4 incredible Disney lovers. We have enjoyed 2 Disney World trips and are currently planning our 3rd. We are not able to travel there every year, but it is definitely our goal to vacation there every time we can. More than that, though, we really enjoy all things Disney. Examples, kid movies, dramas, music, and my boyfriend and I did not experience Walt Disney World as children. However, we have become the Disney-obsessed family and plan to make trips to Walt Disney World as often as possible. With that short intro, I have a request and/or show suggestion. We are strongly considering annual passes with our next trip. However, I am a numbers fanatic. So am I. So, knowing Danny is an AP, I was wondering to learn some more specifics about discounts offered to AP holders. Thank you, and we love what you do with your podcast. Oh, and for any of our previous listeners, you'll understand her PS. For anybody new, all I could say is just go back and download the show. PS, gravy does not go on pasta or french fries. It goes on mashed potatoes.
Oh, that's awesome.
How long is our podcast? Our podcast could run anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half. Really depends on the content you guys give us. We really try to stick around that hour, though. So, right now we are, we're coming up on 40 minutes, so we're doing pretty well here. So let's talk annual pass here. I'm assuming you're going to be out of state since you're saying you vacation there. So if you're out of state, you only get one option, I believe. It's only Platinum Plus, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, it's Platinum and then Platinum Plus. Those are your two options. One is like $800 and change. The other one's about $900 and change, give or take. The first one you get is the one I have, is just the Platinum, and that is straight up no blackout dates, and you get all of the discounts everywhere else. The difference between the Platinum and the Platinum Plus is with the Platinum Plus, you get golf, you get entrance into the worldwide of sports, you get the 2 water parks, and also, again, no blackouts. So do I recommend it? Here's the thing. I've done the math, and you're going to see different things posted everywhere. This is my math, and I've gone by it, and I really hope that it's been right because I've been doing it for a while now. If you go 10 plus days, doesn't have to be consecutively, but if you go 5 trips or, a bunch of 2 trips, however you're looking at it, however many days you go, as long as you do 10 or more days, the Platinum pays for itself. So on that 11th day, you essentially are going, to pay. It'll pay for itself. You are essentially going to be in the park for free. Now, is it worth it? I truthfully do. You know what? It's a lot of money up front. It is a lot of money up front.
Yeah,
but when you're traveling multiple times in a year, you know how nice it is. I went in March when I got I got renewed the annual pass. My next trip is in June. You know how nice it was being able to call, massmastertravel.com, give them a ring, a little ringy ding, and be like, hey, listen, I want to go down to Disney. These are my dates. Okay, sweet. They got me my room, and that was the end of it. I mean, I planned that trip because I took the time off, but I'm flying for $94 round trip, and I got a room. I'm staying at Sports for like $112 a night. So I'm literally going to Disney for 5 days with, I don't have to pay for tickets now, so that's taken care of. So I'm going to Disney for 5 days for $600. That's hard to beat. You're not really going to Disney for that cheap, because if you figure a 5-day hopper roughly is going to cost you, let's say $500, $600.
It's something like that, give or take. I don't have the numbers right in front of me.
So if we round up just to be on the safe side, an additional $600. So for 5 days, I'm going for 6, or you can pay 12 every time.
Right.
All I did is I pay up front. But what do you get with it? If say you don't get the water parks, you just go with the Platinum like I did, which I do recommend it unless you are a water park fan.
And just a little tip: if you add the water park stuff, you really have to go and plan your trips around the water parks too. 2 or 3 times, just to make sure you get that additional money's worth out of it. So you just have to be careful about that.
Yeah. Let's see some of the perks you get with it. You get a % off of select dining. You get a % off of all merchandise. You get Memory Maker for free. Well, Once again, it's one of those cruise line things.
It's
not for free.
It's included. Yeah, there you go.
You get free parking. I think off the top of my head, that is the the end of it. I mean, you could save up to 20% on certain things. Most things you're looking at around 10%. To me, as much as I love the Memory Maker, I love getting money off of food and money off of gifts. Does it add up? Absolutely. My big thing is I want to know at any given moment, snap my fingers, I can be in Disney because I've just booked a room and I got a cheap flight. I don't have to worry about, do I have the extra $600 to do tickets? Think about it. If 5 days with a hopper, say, we don't have the exact numbers, but let's just round it out and say it costs you $600, right? You do 2 trips at 5 days. That's 10 days. That's $1,200 plus the $150 Memory Maker if you buy it in advance. That's an additional $300. You're at $1,500 for 10-day hoppers and 2 Memory Makers. I got all that for $836 after tax.
Right. I mean, usually it's just a rough estimate. If you're going to be at the parks for 10 days, then you really need to start considering it. Because outside of room discounts, other shopping discounts, dining discounts, as what Danny was saying, you also get that special pass holder entranceway at the parks.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, you get discounts at a lot of things. And, memory, like what Christopher was saying, Memory Maker could be expensive. Hey, I will totally agree with that. For me, it's very much worth it because we use it in a lot. And we get our money's worth out of it, but it's still expensive. Now, this is one of those things I need to say, your mileage may vary. So sometimes it may be 10 days, it may be 12 days before you actually get to that break-even point. It kind of depends on what kind of discounts you get, like I'll say room discounts or when you're going to go. Are you going to go in 2 trips or are you going to go in 1 trip? Because that actually makes a bigger difference.
It does.
Because if you, like you said, if you only go for 5 or 6 days 2 times, and you would normally have to get a park hopper those times, that's more expensive than if you're going to spend, say you got a 10-day park hopper. That's cheaper than 2 5-day park hoppers.
Oh yeah, the longer Disney wants to keep you there. That's why if you look, sometimes you can get into the park for like $45 or $56. I saw the one time, but it was like the 10
per day.
Yeah, but no. It was still expensive day one, and then it increments its way down. So basically, on that 10th day, you're only paying say $56 to get in the park.
Exactly. But
the thing is they want you there for 10 days. That's 10 days of hotel. That is now 10 days of you buying food. That is you buying souvenirs. Are you kidding me? I'm surprised they don't just let you walk in on the 10th day because they've made their money hand over fist with you at that point.
That's a good point. I mean, so it depends on how you do Disney. And, quite honestly, it makes a lot of sense. Now, should everybody get an annual pass? There's something to think about. Because also don't forget, if you have small children that are under the age of 3, they still get in for free. They won't need an annual pass. That's great.
Yeah.
But that also means that, let's say when they turn 3, you're still an annual pass holder. Don't get them another annual pass. Buy them a regular ticket. That way you'll not overspend is really what it comes down to it. Just makes a lot of sense. So take some of those things into consideration. Crunch numbers. Include taxes, by the way, in all your figures. Do yourself a big favor. Do include taxes. So many people don't compare apples to apples, and all of a sudden they realize that there's a $50 or $60 difference somewhere. They wonder what's going on. Make sure you include taxes in all your figures. So
yeah, we can sit here and crunch numbers all day, and we appreciate, everybody chiming in. Joanne, I really appreciate, the email you sent. Leslie, I appreciate your email. I forgot to say that before. I apologize. But at the end of the day, what's good for me might not be good for you. And that's why Chris and myself have adopted the slogan for the show is everybody does Disney differently. Because just because it works for me doesn't mean it works for you guys. Right. Now, if you're asking my opinion, I think the annual pass is stellar. Now, come around next year, something in my life can change, and all of a sudden I can't travel there as much. well, then no, maybe the annual pass doesn't really work out for me. It just happened to be that I knew this year I was going there at least, but in a calendar year, I'm probably going to be down in the parks for almost an entire month. I'm looking at about 30 days in park. So to me, that's hands down, that's crazy. That's well worth it. But, you might get to that point where, that break even, you gotta really figure out realistically how many times you're going to be there and how long you're going to be there for. But Chris, do you have anything else you'd like to add to tonight's show?
For that part, no. One thing I will also say, when it comes to trip planning, we don't always talk about trip planning, but we love to talk about trip planning. We know there's a lot of podcasts that do a lot of trip planning talks. We like to feed off of what our listeners have questions on, and go off with that. And I know that some people were asking, what are some of the things that we like to talk about here on the podcast? Just to let you know, anything Disney, it all pretty much goes. The only thing that we actually try to, I won't say stay away from, but we don't talk as much, are probably the things that you see on Facebook and stuff that are rumors. Sometimes we touch on them, a lot of times that we don't.
They just got to be juicy.
Yeah, we just have to be sure, because there's a lot of things that still need to be fact checked when they're still going out there. But we talk about everything from the parks to movies, music, anything that is Disney media, the company in itself, some of the decisions that they make higher up that impacts us as guests, practically anything. And we're just really glad that everybody's here. And, our shows do run anywhere between, half an hour to an hour and a half. And you don't always have to be here. Don't forget, you could also download the podcast, come back to Streaming Disney to watch the video itself. And I'll also, in the near future, be porting these videos over to our YouTube channel for archive purposes. And of course, archive purposes means you can go out there too. So, I know some of you have been asking a lot of those questions in the comment section. Sorry we haven't been able to get to all of them individually, but just wanted to throw that out there.
So, guys, with that being said, let's wrap this episode up. Don't forget, we will be going live once again on Streaming Disney tomorrow night to continue our schedule at 9:45. Just so you know, we stream live on Streaming Disney every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9:45 p.m. Eastern. So don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. Facebook is Behind the Ears Podcast. Instagram is Behind the Ears Podcast. Twitter is at Behind the Ears PC. If you'd love to, interact with us, maybe off the show, head on over to our Facebook group, The Disney Community, and Chris does let's just call it a nice little paragraph every day that really gets your. Okay. But it really gets your noodle going. And I like to give little topical things in form of polls to really, survey people's interest in certain things. Don't forget to rate and review the show on iTunes. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Behind the Ears Podcast. And any listener questions, feel free, because you see how we did tonight. It's awesome. We love your interaction. Send it on over to behindtheearspodcast@gmail.com. Chris, take it over.
And by all means, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, as you're going over to iTunes and Google Play to go ahead and download those episodes, feel free to subscribe to those episodes as well, because that way you will get all the podcast episodes delivered directly to your your device, without having to do an absolute thing. And I'm just not talking too well tonight.
And I am Uncle Danny. I am signing out.
And I'm Mr. Chris. Once again, thank you so much. And one more thing, don't forget, if you have an Alexa-enabled device, just tell it, hey, Alexa, play me the Behind the Ears podcast. And Alexa will do that for you all the time. And until we meet again, thanks for joining. We'll see you tomorrow night. Take care.